new techniques, the new fundamentals. But it's one thing to learn them, and it's a different thing to apply them. That's something we talk about a lot in our meeting room. So our guys are working hard to apply the new techniques, the new fundamentals, the new terminology. They're all working extremely hard, and it's a process. It's a process, and we're really at the beginning stages of that process. And it'll go on. Look, these OTA practices are important. Every meeting is important. The time over, the last few years, it's shrunk a little bit. So it's all important, and we got to make every day count.
How much do you enjoy this period of the building process of it?
I love all of it. I can't say that there's a part of coaching in the National Football League that I don't enjoy. But yeah, this process, this is a part of that. You say development. I think immediately to rookies, and how they come into to this league, onto this team or any team. There's a slew of rookies across the league who they got a long way to go. They got a lot of catching up to do. It's not here; it's across the league. Whether it's new environment, new coaches, they've been in in some instances a locker room that they're very comfortable in. Now they're in a totally different locker room. They don't know what 494 is or 35W, which is East. You know what I mean? So they're trying to get acclimated and figure things out. And there's a lot of development there, and they can develop quickly because they don't know as much. But yeah, all of this is exciting for me. Getting to know the guys, spending time with them, finding out the things that they do well, what buttons to push, what buttons not to push. That's all part of it. And we're in the beginning phases. We just got done with phase 1, which was 2 weeks. Phase 2 was 3 weeks. So do the math. It's 6 weeks or whatever it is. I'm not good at math, but all of it is fun for me.
Chris Long from KSTP TV.
Hey, Chris.
How do you balance trying to do the install with especially defensive line, where there are still some questions on exactly what things might look like in week 1?
I think you coach every player on a specific technique and fundamental, based on what we're putting in that day. Look, every team's going to look different, from now until, the start of the season. We're at 90 now. Every team's going to look different. That's an unfortunate part of this business. But we teach every guy the same. Again, I've told our guys this: I don't care where they came from or by what means they got to this team. First round, trade, free agent, undrafted. You come here, you put in the work, you find a way to learn and, even more than that, apply what you've learned and contribute, and you'll have an opportunity. And that's across the board. That's not, specific to defense. That's what KO's saying in our team meetings. That's what, Matt Daniels is saying in his special teams meeting. So, we coach them all the same. And we try to get them the information they need to go out there and have some success.
Brian, Caleb Evans was talking a couple weeks ago about how he's working on changing his tackling technique a little bit to address the concussions that he had. I was curious, in your experience as a coach, what are the coaching points there in terms of what he or anybody should work on if that's their goal to minimize the head contact, and what you thought of him just as a player from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, really the guy you should be talking to about that is Mike Saravo. He's our designated, tackling enthusiast. Let's call him that. But yeah, safety is obviously the number one, point that we make with our players. Keeping your head out of the tackle. There was, when I grew up, it was get your head across. Which, if you just look at the mechanics of getting your head across, there's instances where you need to do it. It's 3rd and inches, 4th and inches. You don't want them to fall forward. You do what you got to do. Most cases, when you're tackling, you want to keep your head, out of it completely and wrap, roll, and do those things. But if you want to get into the heavy specifics, that's the guy to talk to over there.
And what have you thought of Caleb just in the time you've been able to watch him practice?
Caleb's been great. Look, we got a good group. These guys work hard. It's important to them. They're having fun out there, which is important. We work hard, but at the end of the day, At the end of the day, it's a game we've played since we were little kids, and I try to point that out. At times, there was a clip on day one where the DBs are over there dancing, and we caught it on video, and that's what we want to see. That's what we like to see. But Caleb specifically, obviously it's year 2 for him. He's a little bit more comfortable, but is really working at his craft, footwork, hand placement, those techniques, those fundamentals. Down the field, seeing the ball in the air and going and getting it, and using some of the things that are strengths of his, and trying to minimize some of what some might perceive as weaknesses. That's really what he's been working on, and really, I would say the same thing about all our guys.
Brian, that cornerback group is so young. Do you view the next few months as a competition to see who's going to occupy those spots alongside Byron?
Again, it's always a competition. I think that's how you really get the best version of each player, of each coach, of each whatever it is, media member. Like I said, we don't care about what means you got here. Our guys are gonna, compete, at different positions, and that's part of it. Maybe. You're not the starter at this position, but you are the starter in this position, or you find some playing time in a different role. But yeah, always a competition. All those corners that you mentioned are part of that. It's a young group. They were all working hard, and we'll try to find the best combination that works for our team. For that specific game.
Brian, when it comes to the intangibles, I know you said you wanted an aggressive defense, and that's how you are as a person. Even guys on the offense, and Alexander Madison, some of the other guys were saying, whoa, the defense coming at us, intense, exotic, already in OTAs day 2. They were happily surprised that it came that early. That was something you would intentionally set, like, let's go out even those OTAs, and this is how we're going to be.
Madison's pretty intense. He's coming at us pretty good too, which is, I look, it's competitive, and like I said, we've tried to install, we're installing an aggressive, style of defense, but I think identity is a big part of it as well, and building an identity is a big part of playing defense in this league, and it's early, but that's part of it too. I understand that. I try to, impart that to our players, and that happens over time. And every time we step on the practice field, what is our identity? What are people going to say about us? Not that we're worried about that, but what do we want it to look like? And that's. A lot of the conversation that's had in our meeting room, and we'll continue to have it, and try to continue to work to, put that product on the field that we've talked about making it look like.
Does that identity come from you saying this is how we're going to play, or does that identity come from you figuring out these guys, how they work, how that forms an identity?
I think it's certainly not just me. We got a great staff. I would say in these. Few months that I've been here, spending time with, Saravo, spending time with Durante, spending time with Rumpf, Smitty. These guys are very good coaches. They've got acumen. It's been collaborative in a lot of ways, and I think they understand, my nature. As far as wanting to be aggressive but not reckless, And so, again, not necessarily me, but yes, to answer your question, I think we're all trying to find out what, guys do best and put them in positions to do what they do well. It's hard to do that in this setting because so much of the game is physical. So you're kind of forecasting based on what you've seen. And yeah, that's part of it too. We have to forecast based on or the history. But there's some new guys who we haven't seen, and they need to get a fair shake as well. So, a lot of the final decisions of what we're going to be are going to be made down the road. But right now, it's just basic information, basic install, terminology, getting to know each other, fundamentals, techniques, and just trying to string good days together.
Last couple for Coach.
We're going to hear from Matt Daniels and Ian McCardle took part of the accelerator program here.
Yeah.
What do you think it'll be efforts that they're now taking part in?
I mean, I think it's great. I think, I walked over there the other day and, saw a few guys, obviously that I've known, for a number of years, and, great exposure for them, great opportunity for them to spend time together, to meet new people, to, I always say exposure leads to expansion. I think that's a real and true statement. And I think once guys are exposed to that to certain people, to certain situations, they grow. So I'm all for it, and I was happy to go over there and spend a little bit of time with a couple of guys over there. I wasn't able to make it, but I went to say hello to a few guys. But yeah, I think it's great.
Coach, versatility emerges like a theme with the draft picks on the defensive side of the ball. You talked about kind of the rookie transitions. How do you try to tap into keep that versatility high? Those guys are learning so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, as a staff, we talk about that, at length. Trying to put them in the best positions to, gain some confidence, and tying that in with wanting them to have some position versatility. I think they all understand that, if you're going to play one spot, you better be damn good at it, and that's really across the league. Learning the multiple positions. I think for the young guys, we don't put as much onus on that for them. Hey, let's learn this one thing. Let's get good at this. Let's get comfortable. Let's get confident. In this one spot. A couple guys, really out of necessity, we've had to try to train in multiple spots, but for the most part, we try to keep them in one spot and let them grow there, and hopefully continue to go on this trajectory, and because you can cloud their minds pretty quickly, and it's not just a young player; it's really anybody. You give me that information, and I'd be swimming too. So, we understand that. No problem.
What do you see from Bliss, just on that front? The guy who's come off, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, physically he looks good, and he's learning, and he was here all the entire off season, and he's been working and working and working and working, and yeah, we're excited to just continue to work and grow and learn, and he's done a good job. And again, we're still very early in the process, we're really early in the installs too. So there's a lot to learn, but a lot of opportunity for him to grow as well. He's done a nice job. I just want to introduce a good friend. Mike Saravo. I won't tell you his nickname. You guys can ask him about it later. He's
How much of a relationship did you have with
so I've known Swerve. So when I was a freshman at Boston College, I think he had just graduated and was a GA, just taking the job as a GA. I think he was there 1 year, and then he left for greener pastures. And we've always kind of been connected. it's funny, we never worked really together, but I always had a great respect for him. You know, when we were he was in the hunt for the position. I mean, the amount of calls I got, you know, on his behalf were it was a lot of people called on his behalf and vouched for him. I'll let you know who they are. But it was a lot. It was a lot. But you know, it was a lot of stuff I already knew. So we were excited to get him. When I talked about the staff and the collaborative effort that it's been, and you know, I'm big on, you know, guys being creative and thinking outside of the box, and you know, he's at the top of the line as far as, you know, that's concerned, and you know, somebody already I've begun to lean on in a lot of instances. So I'm excited to have him on staff. You know, he's probably shocked that I'm saying such nice things about him, though. So you guys got it.